James, we both know that electric cars aren't going to be for the guy that, buys generally a 4 or 5 grand car every 5 years and tries to make it last. Electric cars are not for that guy because by the time they get to 4 or 5 grand, they're knackered. I was looking at Nissan Leaf the other day. Somebody on YouTube bought one. I think I can't remember who it was, but somebody bought a Nissan Leaf for a couple of grand. The car was supposed to have a range of 125, 130 miles. After he charged it up, it had a range of 34 miles or something. So a 2 grand electric car is pretty much next to useless. So this is the problem with electric cars. They've got built-in obsolescence due to the batteries, and the batteries are so expensive that you can no longer afford to replace the batteries. So until some clever bugger comes up with a way of putting cheap batteries into old electric cars, well, that guy's going to make a fortune because everyone will go out and buy them en masse and then buy the cheap batteries and stick them in. Provided they work, it'll be fantastic. But I think it's going to be very difficult to do anything with that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. That's the example that people always use, especially when it comes to used cars. They go, oh, you can get a Leaf, for a few £1,000s, and maybe if all you're doing is shopping, and you're an old person like me, and all you want to do is, just pop to the shops and buy some pet food and go home and charge at home, there might be, an argument for doing that. It might work out financially quite okay, but for most people, electric cars don't. Again, if you talk to people who do own electric cars, they will always have a spare car that's a real one. It'll always be a diesel or
a real one.
Yeah.
Not a milk float.
Yeah, exactly.
They will have. Everybody I know that has an electric car also has an internal combustion engine car.
Yeah,
and not always. Sometimes it's just a cheap old smoker, like a 4 or 5 grand Golf or something.
Yeah.
But they need something around that they know they can use when the electric car doesn't work, or when it goes to -6 and the battery decides to shrivel up and not go anywhere. So electric cars have a place in my opinion, but I think they're for people that live in big cities and do very little mileage, but just sit in traffic all day. For people that I live out in the country, so do you. They're just not practical yet.
No,
I mean,
no,
I think with a 300-mile range, that's not going to get me to London and back in a day.
No, that's right.
It isn't. So, it's, I don't know. Would you have an electric car?
No. No, not at all. I used to be a member of the Battery Vehicle Society many, many years ago, in the early 90s. That's when all these people had beards and wore sandals. But I'll tell you what, they were really clever blokes. They
you got sandals on now, James?
Yeah, sorry?
Have you got sandals on now?
I don't have sandals. I actually have hobnail boots. I have steel toe. I'm in my garage, so I have steel toe cap boots because safety first, in case I drop something. In case I drop something on my foot. But no, I mean, these were really clever blokes, and they would take mini metros, and they would literally take a milk float battery and put it in a mini metro, and it would run. And they were very, very bright fellows. They were all, professors at universities and stuff, and they enjoyed it. But even they could see what they were doing. It was a hobby. They were doing it because they just thought, "Yep, great. I don't want to pay for petrol. You can understand that." And it had a limit, but they were using, lightweight cars where you could make a very good argument for having them. But, I'm going back well over 30 years. I did this for the purposes of research. I wrote an article on it. And my conclusion was then, unless there's some amazing battery tech thing coming down the line, it would be daft to, have an electric car. I've been there and done that. I've paid my dues to the Battery Vehicle Society and seen that the future didn't work 30 years ago, and there's no reason why it should work now.